Hello everyone, welcome to Science Generation. Today we will discuss about the everyday glossary of Ciccarelli for the strengths of psychology. This is the sixth video of this series, everyday glossary of Ciccarelli for the strengths of psychology. So let's get started. Here we are talking about the D section, fifth, five videos already made, which cover A, B, C session. So this is the D session. First, dark adaptation. Dark adaptation is the recovery of the eye sensitivity to visual stimuli in darkness after exposure of bright light. So dark adaptation is the recovery of the eye sensitivity to visual stimuli in the darkness after exposure the bright light. Second is decay. Decay means loss of memory due to passage of time during which the memory trace is not used. So after a long time when you don't use your memory trace, so basically it will be lost. Third is declarative memory. This is another type of long-term memory. So this is the type of long-term memory containing information that conscious and known. So declarative memory is conscious memory. This is also called a conscious memory and known memory. Third is deep listening. Deep listening is the insertion of thin insulated wire into the brain through the which an electrical current is sent and destroy the brain cells and the tip of the wire. Next is delta wave. There are four types of wave: delta, theta, alpha, beta. So all waves are used in the sleep. So delta wave is a long slow waves that indicates the deepest stage of a sleep. Second is delusion disorder. Delusion disorder is a psychotic disorder in which the primary symptom is one or more delusion. Basically, person or things or object is not available, but still person thinking, still person behaving like some stimulus, some person, some objects are there. So this is called the delusion disorder. Third is delusion. So what is the delusion? Basically delusion is a false belief. As I said, person, object and things are not available, but still person think there is something. So this is a false belief held by a person who refused to accept evidence that their falseness. So this is the delusion. Dendrites. Dendrites is a branch-like structure. This is found in a neuron. So dendrites is a branch-like structure that receive message. So who receive message from one neuron to another? Basically dendrite receive the message from another neurons. Denial. Denial is one kind of ego defense mechanism. So what is denial? Psychological defense mechanism in which the person refuse to acknowledge or recognize the threatening situation. So this is called a denial. Next is dependent variable. There are two types of variable. First is an independent, it means IV variable, and second is dependent variable, which is also called DV variable. DV. So what is the dependent variable? Variable is an experiment that represent the measurable response or behavior to the subject in the experiment. That represent the measurable, means we measure. So that represent the measurable response or behavior of the subject in the experiment. Fourth one is depersonalization disorder. This is a kind of dissociative disorder. It is also written here. This is the dissociative disorder in which individual feel detached and disconnected from their self. Person thinks he is not available. He is detached or disconnected from themselves, their body and their surroundings. So this is the dispersonalization disorder. Basically in this disorder, person thinks he is a machine and he is observing his body from outside. It means he observing his body from outside of the body. So this is called the dispersonalization disorder. Third is depressants. So the depressions, it is made by depression. So Depressants is a drugs that decrease the function of nervous system. Oh, you need to learn this that depressant reduce the functions of nervous system. So I think this is very important question. Maybe it is asked in the net. What is the depressant? So you have to learn that this is reduce the functions of nervous system. Fourth is depth perception. So this is from the perception, the ability to perceive the world in 3 dimensions. We always perceive the world in 3 dimensions. First is time perception, second is depth perception, and third you have to comment in the comment section. There are 3 types of perception: time perception, form perception, and third is depth perception. So what is the deviation IQ? Deviation IQ is a type of intelligence that measures, that assume that IQ is normally distributed, that think IQ is normally distributed around a mean. It mean is 100 and standard deviation is 15. So this question is asked in the net. Deviation IQ mean is 100 and standard deviation is 15. Second is diffusion. Diffusion means process of molecules moving from areas of high concentration to area of low concentration. So diffusion means the process of molecules that moving from the high concentration area to low concentration area. Third is diffusion of responsibility. That happen when a person fails to take responsibility for action or inaction. That's for that person fails to take responsibility for action or inaction because of the presence of other people who are seen to share the responsibility. This situation you can see in your home, this situation you can see in your workplace, this situation you can see in your neighbors. So basically you can see the person don't bear their responsibility just because another person is available who can bear their responsibility. Fourth is a direct observation. Assessment in which a professional observer, direct observation is what? Assessment in which a professional observer that client engaged in ordinary day-to-day behavior in either a clinical or natural setting. Direct observation means professional observer that engage with a client in their day-to-day life or day-to-day behavior. It is not important or this thing is happening in a clinic or in a natural setting. So next one is directive. So directive is a therapy. Basically Freud's therapy is categorized under the directive therapy. So directive therapy is in which the therapist actively gives interpretation of a client's statement. So in the directive therapy, therapist actively interpret the client's statement and suggest him suggest client some certain behavior or action that they suggest that you should not do, you should do. They give them suggestion and they actively participate and they actively interpret their statement, their client's statement. Second is discrimination. Treating people differently because of prejudice towards the social group to which they belong. The discrimination is one of the prejudice towards the social group to which they belong. Discriminative stimulus. So this is a stimulus, any stimulus such as a top sign of doorknob that provides an organism with a cue or for making a certain response in order to obtain reinforcement. Disorganized type of schizophrenia in which behavior is bizarre and childish. Disorganized catatonic paranoid schizoid. This is type of schizophrenia in which behavior is bizarre and childish. Thinking, speech and motor action are totally disordered. It means person thinking, speech, all things are totally childish and this is totally disordered. So I hope you like this video. I will suggest please share this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.